Good morning. Glad you're here. I hope you're not too hungry because we're not going to cook till later. This morning, our first video today is going to be about just some kitchen basics and handy tips and tricks that make your life easier in the kitchen. First things first, how many of you have ever, don't lie to me and tell me you have never been to Walmart. If you, I know you have. Whenever you buy something, you know, they always give you the hanger, and then you end up with a whole bunch of these, and you don't know what to do with them. Now, if you're a Pinterest, crafty, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, you can make it all pretty. I don't really care what it looks like as long as it works for me. How many times have you been cooking, and your recipe just gets all nastied up because stuff gets splashed on it? Alright, take this, hang it up in your kitchen. There's a recipe on that side. Here's a recipe on this side. Here's another recipe. We can just load them up. It's out of the way. You can see it easier without having to look down all the time and stop and go over here and do all that. And everybody's got one of these. All you got to do when you're not using it is hang it in another part of the kitchen out of the way, or put it back in the closet. Then it won't bother you. Simple, easy, cheap, free way to organize using your recipes and keep you focused. Got it? Alright. Get rid of that. Next we're going to talk about must-have utensils. Must-have utensils. Alright. Now I've got a lot more besides what you see. What you see here in this crock and in this crock, these are my everyday utensils. Stuff I use the most. First of all, you need both the plastic and the metal spatulas. This is my favorite tool of all. You've noticed that I use this and everything. It's a spatula, but it's just the most perfect for cooking. For sauteing, even stirring pasta. This is my go-to here. You need tongs. You need tongs. Why do you need tongs? Do you remember when we did the steak? And you don't, or not the steak, the lamb chops. The steak I forgot to hit record on. But on you don't put a fork in red meat. You lose all your juices, which makes it tender. Use the tongs. And you also need these for grilling. So you need a whole bunch of different size tongs. How many different ones are there? Okay, so maybe I'm a little OCD about this kind of stuff, but you know, you're going to get the point. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sets of tongs, all different sizes. You need pasta strainers, or any kind of strainer. This is awesome. I love these big Chinese strainers. I've got 2 or 3 of those. Again, different sizes for different purposes. Stainless spoons, ladles. Again, different sizes for different purposes. Look at this, I'm just throwing stuff on them all over the place. Alright, so this is all pretty much my stainless that I use. I use a lot of stainless for cooking. But that's because I also have another business where I cook, where I do a lot of catering and I cook for people. So everything I have is restaurant quality. Okay, knives, we've already talked about knives before, but with every set of knives, you need a gnaw. Remember how you use it? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Samurai time. Alright, everybody needs a gnaw. Okay, this one, look, Graham's Kitchen. That's me. I'm Graham. Alright. This one, my biggest strainer, but I also have 3 others of these. Again, all the way down to little bitty sizes. A mop. Everybody needs a mop. Wooden. Okay, now this is my OCD on me again. Whisks. You use whiskuses a lot. Is it whisk? Plural? Or whiskuses? I think whiskuses sounds much more fun to say. Alright, so, hang on, we're rocking rolling here. Alright. Got it? Different sizes. The bigger you get, you want to make sure you've got some that are like this, that don't have, this puts, the fewer the rings in it, the more air you'll move through it. Egg whites, for example, beating egg whites. Anything you need to incorporate a lot of air into. That's what you need these for. Mixing. In case you have non-stick, you always need to have the rubber ones. This way you won't scratch your pans if you use Teflon. Alright. As you can tell, I use a lot of whisks. I love whisks. This is a nifty thing. This is, you put it on the side of your pan and to drain your grease or your pasta water without losing all your goodies that's in the pan. You need a stick. Always need a stick. This is good for stirring. It's good for pulling stuff out one by one. It's really cool. This is just stuff I use all the time. This is a garlic press. Put the clove of garlic in here. Do like this. And it all comes out here. It's pretty cool. And I use it a lot. When I don't feel like chopping garlic, when I'm lazy. Which is not very often, but sometimes I'm lazy. Alright. Questions so far on anything? Are we still rocking and rolling? Measuring cups. Hang on, I'm right here. I didn't go nowhere. You want to talk OCD? You're fixing to see it. Alright. Measuring cups. Again, I have a lot of measuring. I have two of these. You heard one just hit the floor over there. Two plastic ones. I don't really like the plastic. I prefer the glass, but there you go. You got it. And this one is really cool because you put stuff in it. Say you're measuring out stock, which we're fixing to make. You're measuring out stock, but you don't want all that. You didn't have a time to drain all the grease off. This pours from the bottom and grease rises to the top. So you'll get just the pure stock without the grease. Pretty cool. 2 cup. And I have another 1 cup, but it's in the dishwasher. 4 cup. 8 cup. I also have a 6 cup that I can't reach because I have to get the step stool because I'm short. And my husband, when he built my kitchen, built it to his specs, and he's very tall. So, oh, look at there. I almost killed one of my chickens going through stuff. Silly girl. Alright, so, also I have this little cool, it looks like a shot glass. It's about this big, and it's by Pyrex. But it's for measuring liquid tablespoons. How many times have you cooked something, you're doing a recipe, and it says 3 tablespoons of melted butter? Well, you know what 3 tablespoons of butter is, but 3 tablespoons of melted butter is a little different quantity. You can put them in there. It looks like a shot glass. I can't find it. I loaned it to somebody. Anyway, so it looks like this. And you can put in your 3, put that in the microwave, and then you can measure out how much liquid you have. It's pretty cool. All right. So we've done utensils, we've done knives, we've done measuring cups, we've done how to deal with a recipe. I'm trying to remember what else I was asked about. We've already gone over cast iron. I'm not going to do that because it's heavy and I'd have to move the tripod to get to it all. There's about 14 different sizes and pieces of cast iron. I'll pull them all out again for something else. What else did you... I'm trying to think of what people have asked that I use the most, or what I think they should have in their kitchen. Food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you're making extra work for yourself. Alright? I have 2 food processors. One here, one here. Stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, again, you're making extra work for yourself. But you also need a hand mixer, so you should have both. But I'm not saying go out and buy something. And again, go to garage sales, go to thrift stores, check them out that way. Look when you're at the Walmart, which I know we all shop at China Mart. I don't want to hear, ooh, Walmart. Go get over yourself. When you go there, look at their floor displays. A lot of times they'll sell them to you super cheap. I'm trying to think. What else did... I'm trying to go over my head questions that y'all have sent me. If if you think of anything else you want me to tell you about or show you in my kitchen, I'll be happy to do that. Cutting boards, we've already done that. You know that I have like 10 of those. One for everything different. One for meat, one for chicken, one for veggies, one for bread. Just all kinds of different boards. I have lucite boards. I have plastic. I have wood. You name it, I got them. Okay. So, now what we're going to do is, today's lesson is we're going to make some chicken stock. Now, you know that I'm a big believer in stocking stuff up. Stocking up, stocking up, stocking up. This saves you money. I don't know about you, but I don't have money to just go, whoo, I'm going to go buy this, I'm going to go buy that, I want to make this, I want to make that. No, I don't have that kind of money. And I was raised by my granny who taught me the value of holding on to everything and making good use of everything. How often, besides cans, like for tomatoes and stuff, how often do y'all see me throw stuff away? Hardly ever. Alright? So that's what we're going to do. Today is I'm going to show you that stuff I told you to hang on to. Now, do you remember whenever we cook with anything, I tell you don't throw that in the trash? Keep it. Put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. This is the heart part of the celery. Okay? It's the heart part of the celery. I'm not going to use it to cook with because it's bitter to eat as like that. Okay? But it makes great seasoning for stock. This is a clove of garlic that's, you know, kind of soft and mushy. So there you go. This is an old carrot out of the garden. That's why it doesn't look pretty, but, you know, it's soft and mushy. So there you go. These are onion skins and an onion end. All of this contains flavor. If you save all this in a plastic bag, and once a month, just once a month, try to make stock. And you don't have to do like I'm going to do. I'm going to use a chicken, a whole chicken. And actually, quite frankly, we were going to make 3 or 4 different kinds of stock, but I forgot to thaw the bones out. I save bones off anything. How many of you have ever gone to your local supermarket and gotten one of the rotisserie chickens from the deli? Most supermarkets make them that you can just grab and go. Save those bones out of that rotisserie chicken and you freeze them in a Ziploc bag and use that to make your stock. It didn't cost you anything. I mean, you're getting more. Look how much meals you're getting out of that. And you say, well, I don't really use chicken stock. Yeah, well, we've talked about that too. Best way to cook rice, potatoes, pasta. It adds to everything. Anything that uses water, except for baking, obviously, you can use chicken stock and you'll be amazed at the better flavor you're going to get. Okay, I've got my stock pot ready, getting ready. It's got water in it. I'm going to put it on high. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the chicken. Now you're going to say, what the heck kind of chicken is that? This kind of chicken is one of my girls. This is one of my girls. When a chicken quits laying, and she has reached her prime, she is dispatched. What that means is, my husband kills them, and then I scald them, and we pluck them, and we dress them, and then they end up in a bag in the freezer. Okay, so we've got the chicken in the water. You don't have to do anything to it. Just throw it all in there. Now, if you have just bones and skin, just throw the bones and skins in first. The meat goes in first. Remember when we were cooking yesterday and we made that hamburger dish? Let me tell you something about that dish. You make that up in a big quantity and freeze it in plastic bowls big enough for a base. And think of that as your base. You add pasta to that. You add beans. You add rice. You add peas and carrots. You can add zucchini. Anything. You're only limited by your imagination. And it's a base for so many different easy, quick meals. And if you take like a 10-pound chub of hamburger meat and do that up and then freeze it, all you got to do is pull that out, put it in the microwave, chop up whatever you're going to put in it, and within, boom, 10 minutes, you've got dinner. Let me wrap this up because I got some icky water. I got icky chicken water on there. I don't want icky chicken water. Alright, so, lecture over. Sorry, sometimes I get on it. Y'all are going to love doing this. Because if you don't have time to chop, guess what? You don't cut or chop anything. Enough water to cover your chicken. I need a little bit more. I got a couple legs sticking up out of it. I got a couple of legs showing. And it's always good to show a little leg, but, you know, not when you're a chicken. That's what a chicken says when it lays an egg. That's a happy chicken. You hear, chickens don't go, they don't do that very often. They make weird noises. Okay, so now what we're going to do now, we got it covered, check. We're going to put the celery in. And these are called aromatics. That's the word for today, aromatics. You're not going to eat them, you're going to throw them away. If you put them all in a bag with herbs, it would be a mirepoix, which is just a seasoning, a bag of herbs that you pull in and out to season stuff. Just throw it all in, just like it is, just like that. You don't have to do anything with it. You might want to mash it down before the water gets too hot. If you'd rather do that, that's cool. Then, what we're going to do is, if you have a single-handed faucet, that's the best way to go because you never have to touch it. Think of yourself as a doctor. Always use the forearm right here. You never touch it, and you don't get icky all over and germy all over that. Now for chicken, sage. If you want to use poultry seasoning, you can do that. If you grow your own sage, you can do that. We lost most of our herbs. We had one day of winter where it got to 13 degrees. Black pepper, butcher as little as you want. Common sense cooking. And some salt. Kosher salt. Alright, so, where is it? Alright, I thought y'all took it. Y'all know it's my favorite. I'm afraid you might want to walk out with it. Alright, so. So now, we're rocking and rolling. Now, I know I started it here, but I'm probably going to do other things during the day. And this is going to cook for hours. It's going to cook for a few hours. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it to a back burner. And I'm going to leave it on high. I'm going to leave it off the lid. No lid on it. Don't need a lid on it. And it's just going to bubble and brew. Bloop, 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 bloop. When the chicken falls off the bone, it's done. Now, what are you going to do with it at that point? Well, at that point, you're going to let it set and cool off. Then, you're going to put the whole stock pot, cover it up, put it in the refrigerator. When you see a layer of yellow fat on the top, you're going to take it out, skim that fat off, feed it to the dog. It's no good for anything. That's not a keeper. Then you're going to take a colander, a strainer. You're going to take a strainer. I didn't even show you my colanders. I've got like, 10 of those, again, different sizes. You're going to take this and coffee filters. Now, if you have cheesecloth, you can use cheesecloth. You're going to line your colander with, I mean, I like cheesecloth, but not everybody has it, and I'm not telling you to run out and spend any money. Go with what you have. And most people have coffee filters. So anyway, you line it with coffee filters and then begin to ladle it in. Ladle by ladle by ladle. And what you're doing is, this is sitting inside a bowl. this is sitting inside a bowl. I'm sorry, like that. Okay? Ladle, 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 ladle. And it starts coming up the side. You're going to move it out of the way. Take your broth and transfer it to another bowl. Big, another bowl. Oh, sorry. Hit myself in the head. And then you start doing it again until you get the whole pot. This way you get rid of all the stuff that you don't want, and you'll have just a pure, pretty broth. Then you can put it in quart-sized Ziploc bags, or pour it into a plastic ice tray. 1 cube will do 1 thing of rice, and pour that out, and then you've got instant, boop, let's go to work kind of stuff. Alright. Now, I hope this was educational. Hope you learned something today. Again, am I telling you that you need all this? No, I'm not. I'm showing you, I'm answering your questions. People have been writing me, asking me, Lynn, what is in your kitchen that you use the most? Okay, well, those, yes. Measuring cups, you should have at least two cups. 2 1-cups at least. The reason is, what if you're doing something and you need, particularly this comes in baking, but what if you need several different cups of stuff? Well, you got 1 cup, so you got to do that, stop, clean it, do the next thing, stop, clean it, go back to something else, when you could have them already lined up and ready to rock and roll. Time is money. Time is money. That's why they pay you by the hour for most people, unless you're salaried. But the time is money, okay? Your services are valuable. So think about your time. It's not just about saving money. Saving time is saving money. Because think about it. If you were being paid, would you make it work to do this? Do you see what I'm saying? Could you afford yourself to cook for yourself? Could you afford to hire yourself? Most people would say no. All right. So now we're going to switch gears. That's the end of this video. And then we're going to switch gears and go out and trim some peach trees. Y'all stick with me. I'll be back in a few minutes to start the next video.